morning, Rotarians. Have you been having a wonderful morning? Fabulous, fabulous. Have you enjoyed it thus far? Yes. That's what I like to hear. I want to keep that energy up and active and everything this morning, because I know that you guys have been sat on those bums for quite a while. But I do want to make sure that you are enjoying the event thus far. Weren't those kids amazing? They were great, really hugely inspiring. Makes me feel like I'm not doing enough with my life. So I'm going to try and rectify that at some point, but I may rectify it during the course of this speech. Now, I'm a patron for Bowel Cancer UK, and I have been for a few years now, and I will explain the reasons why. And actually, I'll put a picture up on the screen in a sec, and that will explain the reason why. That's me, clearly a long time ago, looking a lot younger. And that is my mum, and she's the reason why I became a part of Bowel Cancer UK and why I continue to support them. On this day, back in 2002, I was 21 years old. I was sat with my brother and my sister eating breakfast as our aunts and uncles and cousins fussed around us. We were in our own world, really, just the three of us, laughing, joking, and reminiscing. Because 2 days earlier, in the middle of the night, in my parents' bedroom, surrounded by the three of us, my dad, and a Macmillan nurse, my mum took her final breath and she passed away. The hospital had sent her home 3 weeks previously because there was nothing else that they could do for her. And because of her children, she wanted to come home rather than go to a hospice. 3 weeks later, on the 10th of April, 2002, she passed away. 5 years earlier, when I was 16 years old, Mum sat me down to explain that she wasn't well, that she had cancer. To be honest, I'm not sure I truly understood exactly what that meant, really. I'd just finished taking my GCSEs and I was in the first year of my A-levels. And the most important thing for me in my mind at that point was hanging out with boys and going to parties and knocking back cheap cider. Yes, I know it was illegal, I was only 16. I've thought a lot about how she would have felt about telling her eldest child that she had cancer, and I've decided it would have been heartbreaking. As a parent, I'm sure that's a conversation you'll expect to have your kids decades down the line, not as they're about to pop upstairs to do their history A-level homework. My mum is, and will continue to be, my superhero. She balanced raising a family, being a wife, having a job, and having chemotherapy and various other horrid injections and hospital appointments for 5 years. People always find it weird when I say I rather like hospitals, but I spent many years sat on a hospital bed doing my homework on weeks when she had to stay in hospital for chemo. The nurses felt like family, especially when my sister would ask random science questions when she was doing her homework at hospital. Now, there's a question that I want to ask you guys, and I want you to get involved, and you can shout from the top, and you can also shout for the bottom. But how many of you are aware of what symptoms to look out for when it comes to bowel cancer? You can all shout at once, but I just want to be aware of just how many of you know. Do you? If you know the symptoms, just shout them out. Shout them out. Who has their hand up? Who has their hand up near the front? Shout one out for me. Blood? Blood in your poo? Don't worry, we can say poo and bums and everything, it's fine. On this side, does someone have their hand up over here? No? None of you know any other symptoms? Do we have anyone over there? The lady in the pink top over the back. Shout out a symptom for me.
Bloated stomach.
Bloated stomach. Do we have any other symptoms? Anyone here in the middle? Lady just there.
Change in motion.
Change in motions. Can we have one more? Someone over here was shouting out. Was it you? Irregular bowel habits. I'm very impressed. Loads of you know loads of the symptoms. I'm incredibly impressed. And I'll give you a list and I'll give you a helping hand of the others. Here's what you need to look out for. As the lady at the front here said, bleeding from your bum or blood in your poo. A change in bowel movements, someone else said that, but a change in bowel movements for 3 weeks. Unexplained weight loss, extreme tiredness for no obvious reasons, a pain or lump in your tummy, which someone else did mention. Now, I want you to remember all of these signs. And do you know why? That would be because bowel cancer is the second biggest cancer killer in the UK. How many of you knew that? Hands up, how many of you knew that? Ah, you see, I'm educating quite a few of you here today. The second biggest cancer killer in the UK. Now, you may not get all of those things when it comes to being diagnosed, but you have to keep your eye out for them just in case. And I'm going to do so. I like interactive speeches. So I'm going to do the first 9 rows. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Gentleman in the blue shirt, that's where it finishes. Everyone up to that line, I want you to stand up. All of you stand up. I know, you've just been for coffee. You were hoping you could have a bit of a sit down. But no, that's not how this works with me. Everyone in the room, I want you to take a look at all these people that are stood here at the front. And do you know why? That's a number of people that die from bowel cancer every day. 110 people die every day from bowel cancer. And you can visually see them here, right here in this room. I'm not saying you guys are. I'm just saying that it illustrates that. Thank you very much. Round of applause for those taking part. So there you go. There is a chance that at some point, some of you may well be affected by bowel cancer at some point in their life if you haven't already. So it's not something you can run away from. It's not something you can ignore. Living life ignoring important signs can result in you losing your life earlier than you're supposed to. So why on earth would you take that chance? As I said, 5 years ago, after my mum had that horrid conversation with me about the fact that she was sick, she had to have an even worse conversation with me. Possibly the most difficult, the most heart-wrenching, uncomfortable, and devastating conversation that a parent has to have with a teenage child. She was dying, and there was nothing the doctors could do about it. She would be leaving us. That was the start of April 2002, just days after my sister's 16th birthday. I'd finished university the year before. In fact, my mum had left hospital for the day so she could go to my graduation ceremony. I'd started my dream job just months before as a trainee journalist at ITV News in Maidstone. So on one hand, things in my life were going amazingly well. But then on the other hand, the woman that had been through all of that with me, who had cradled me in my arms when I dumped my first boyfriend, yes, I dumped him, cradled me when I dumped my first boyfriend, the woman who told me off when I stuck off to an underage club in Kent when I was 14, the woman who gave me my confidence, my sense of style, my smile and my sunny disdemeanor, she was going to leave me. It's a fact that I don't think I'll ever forgive the world for, you know. There are so many people who do wrong things in the world, and yet the world took my mum. But I can't just stick my head in the sand because of the unfair things in the world. Instead, I helped my dad to raise 2 wonderful children, and I continue to do so. I do the job I love and adore, and I work my little bum off to make my mum and my dad proud. And I spread the message about bowel cancer to as many people as possible who don't mind sitting in a room and hearing me blabber on for an hour, for half an hour or so. Don't worry, I know it's only 25 minutes. I'm not going to go much longer. So, remember that list of symptoms we talked about earlier? Well, that's the reason why you must remember them. Because if you get bowel cancer early, the treatment can help you to live a long life. It's through my association with Bowel Cancer UK that I've accepted a few things. Because my mum was so young when she was diagnosed, she was in her late 30s, it means that there's a good chance that I will be diagnosed with it at some point in the next few years. A fact that I have now accepted, and a lot of that has to do with the work that I do with Bowel Cancer UK. They help to raise the awareness of the symptoms and help support those affected, and of course, their families. I'm just 33 years old. I know, I don't look it. But I am just 33 years old. But recent figures and of cases of bowel cancer among the under 30s shows it has increased by 120% in the last 10 years. So there is a very good chance that I'll get it in my 30s. And as I said, it's a fact that I have quite frankly just have had to accept. I do have an increased chance. So last month, I had my very first bowel cancer screening. Now, although I'm not automatically entitled to it because of my age, My doctor fought my case hard, and my local hospital finally agreed to yearly screenings for me. It wasn't the most comfortable experience, but quite frankly, that's not the point, is it? I now also have to have genetics tests and all these different things that are coming up, so they can have a good look at the likelihood of me getting a whole range of different cancers. Now, my screening was negative, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it won't be positive in years to come. So it's a screening that I have to have every single year for the rest of my life. Because if they catch it early, it means that I will have a long life, and I'd rather not take the chance of them not spotting it. If it wasn't for Bowel Cancer UK highlighting the importance of, it's not little, it's little things to other people, but it's a big thing to me, I would probably be floating through life in blissful ignorance. But that so-called blissful ignorance could very well end my life. So instead, I'm also looking out for the signs and symptoms, and I've accepted that that's just what I've got to do on a daily basis. And that's what I'm here to urge you to do as well, and for you to support the work of Bowel Cancer UK, because there weren't very many of you that knew all of those symptoms, but all of us do need to, as it's the second biggest cancer killer in this country. Don't let your kids, your grandkids, your mums, your dads, your sisters, your brothers lose you, all of you, to lose you because you couldn't be bothered to look for the signs. Loss isn't easy, trust me on that one. If Bowel Cancer UK has taught me anything, it's that I have to take charge of my life and stick 2 fingers up at cancer. So please do support Bowel Cancer UK, so your families don't lose you, and you don't lose someone in your family, because you or they don't know the signs. As I said, yes, I probably am going to get it, but I make sure I know the signs because I'm not going to let cancer kill me. Thank you. Hello, I've got to get back on stage.
She caught me out there. Charlene, thank you so much for coming and talking to us about that today. And there you go, a small gift for you.
Oh, do I get, is it? Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much. That's amazing.
You're very welcome.
Thank you very much. Do you want to see what it is? There you go. No, thank you. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.